you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be working on a shelf to be able to stack the wood from the sawmill on. Now this shelf probably got to be able to hold right around 2,000 pounds on different levels. So I think I got the right wood to build this shelf with. My ideal shelf would have been pallet wood or pallet shelving, something like that, but it still has to be 12 foot, like the span in there, because your wood's 12 foot long. I can cut 12 foot lumber. So now I think I could build this shelf to be, say, 11 foot 6 inches. I mean, you can get 12 foot wood on it, but you know, I think it's going to be a little bit tighter, you know what I mean? So because we got 12 foot lumber to work with, we have to make it just a little bit small so we can get it sturdied up. So we're going to get to unloading our lumber, and then I'm going to show you how I build this shelf. All right, I have my boards marked here. These are the two 8 foot 4x4s, and they're going to go on the outside. They're going to be my outside shelf. And what they're marked for is this 2x4, this 2x4, and that 2x4 on the bottom. And that's where we're going to put our shelves. Now the 8 foot board will go up to that one there, but now we weren't going to bury these in the ground, because if I ever want to move this shelf, I want to be able to move it, because it's not a cheap shelf. We have our saws set to cut about 1.5 inches deep. So we're going to make a slot in here 1.5 inches deep, and we're going to do that by just making series of cuts back and forth like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a hammer and just knock these out. What we can. When you get into them knots, that's when it's pretty tight. The knots make it rough. So once we got that out like that, we got a wood chisel. We're just going to chisel the rest of it out. Get this nice and smooth in here. I think you guys get the idea. So I got 3 of these slots to make. This one here and 2 more down that way. And then we'll have these just about ready, close. But these are our legs, and this is what's going to hold the shelf up and the roof up. And it's not going to be in the ground. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill a hole in the center of the bottom of these, and we're going to use some 3/4 inch dowel. We're going to make some leg levelers. That way, because we're just going to set these on block, and if the blocks start to sink, I'll be able to raise it up a little bit using these levelers. So I marked the center, just going to use a paddle bit, and I'm going to go in there as deep as my bit will drill. Okay, we got our 2 leg levelers in there. We drilled up into there, so we got a long ways to be able to adjust. Hopefully, we're not too long on it. That would be your worst. But we're going to be setting these on block, on like a solid concrete block. So once we get this in there, we'll be able to adjust it up and down just a little bit anyhow. So now our posts are finished. We have all of our notches in them, which I think these were the hardest ones because we had to make our leg levelers, or levelers, whatever. So we'll get on to the next step. Okay, so we're going to start cutting our first beam that's going to go across, and that's going to be part of our shelf. These are going to be the outside part of our shelf. This one here, we subtracted the distance between these because we don't want this total. We don't want it more than 12 foot. So we wanted to subtract this off of the 12 foot and get her cut. So we got this one marked. We're going to go ahead and cut this. We only got 3 of these to do. Alright, we have our nailers nailed up there, and that just takes up the space of where the metal is. Now we're going to have boards on the outside of them, and they got a lot of nails in them because they're going to be the shelving. Now if we have to, we can run lags through them too later on, but right now I think they're going to hold up pretty good. So we got them on, and we got our boards notched out, and we got our shelf, outside beams to our shelf done. So we got to go find some concrete block. We'll probably get that started in the morning. What I'm doing now is just putting this is where our shelves are going to go on each one of these, the 3 lower ones. That top one's going to be the small roof. I got one more board to put on. What I have here is a plumb ball. It's coming off that one, so I get all these the same up and down on this wall. So this is all of our shelving, but it's also going to act as support for our 2 beams out here too. Okay, so far what we've done, we stuck a patio stone down there, and those levelers are sitting right on that patio stone. We went ahead and mounted our uprights here. This is the front of our shelf. And the reason why I wanted the 4x4s is because I want to do the 4x4s all the way across here. This is going to give it some good strength, so when we put our wood up in there, we have almost a 12-foot span between this post and that post over there. So that'll allow us to put, at least if we got forks on the tractor and we got 8-foot lumber, we'll be able to take it and set it right up in there. But the main thing is not to weave the wood around the post. So we're going to go ahead and finish putting the post in and getting this thing squared up, and then we're going to have to start working on it. So this morning I was able to get a little bit of help. My son Justin come over and give me a hand. He's going to help me put this bench together. Watch it slide down on the inside. That's the only charger I got.
Only battery?
I got extra battery.
Is it charged?
I got it on charge.
Where's the ratchet there?
Huh?
Where's the ratchet?
Right there, in that hole. Some big old lags, ain't they? You got it?
It was
pushing it out.
Yeah.
I'll go drill the other one while you're finishing that one up. That'll hold it together, keep it from falling out, you know?
Yeah.
So we're doing a couple good sized lags in these. We're going to do one on each side, but then we're also going to toenail them too. So you can see how big the lags are. We hope to have at least one in each one, plus it's notched. So most of the weight's going to stay on that 4x4.
I had to put that drill on number 2, second speed.
You ain't gonna beat it. That's nice. It's all about being level and plumb. And we got it. Man, this is gonna be nice. I can stack so much wood on there. That is gonna be sweet.
Dad, you ever think sometimes we're just accidentally good at stuff?
No. Well,
Like, we accidentally get something right.
I think, well, that's a big part. You know, it's not like, and I always tell everybody, I'm not a carpenter, but I know if I keep it plumb and level, it's gonna look decent. You seen that little hammer around? That little...
No. Seen the big hammer?
I got one here somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting all the, I got 2 more pieces on the outside to put, and then I'm going to start putting the hangers on there, and I'll start cutting the boards over on them hangers. That way I'll have something to climb up on to work on the top up there, the roof. And the roof is just going to have a small slope. All we want to do is keep the water off of it. That's the big thing. So what I'm going to do now is we have the lags in them. So I'm going to go through and we're going to toenail these with some good size. What's the name of these nails? Because you know,
Spiral, so I don't know.
So just a spiral nail, 16 penny, I think. We're going to be using those, and I'll just toenail them in an angle on top of the screws. I think it's going to be just fine. Yeah. Okay, we got a 24 by 24 inch pad there underneath there to put them leg levelers on. And we have all of our frame structure up now for the shelving. And then all we have to do now is we're going to start putting our hangers. We got a box of these 2x4 hangers, and we're going to put hangers on all the sides here and start cutting our boards for inside them. But I think it really turned out nice. I mean, everything looks great. I like the big pad on the bottom to put the levelers on. And like I said, this is just a shelf to put our sawmill wood on. So we're going to go ahead and get to putting the hangers up. Alright, we're going to be putting the hangers up. And here's what the hanger looks like. And we're going to be placing a piece of 2x4 inside that. And we're going to line this up with the top of the board here. And we're just going to stick it in there like so. Now that's going to hold my hanger in place until I can get my drill ready. And I'm going to be using screws on these. And we're going to put 4 screws in there. Then we're going to get us another one, and we're going to do the same thing on this side here. I'm going to line that bad boy up, center it up, get our hammer over here, tap that thing into place. We're going to take 4 more screws and do the same thing on this side. And we have quite a bit of these to do. I think there's 30 hangers. There's going to be 30 of these hangers because there's one for each one. And it looks like there's going to be about 15 or so of the boards. So now we just cut our board to length here. Now you have to watch, some of these might be a little bit warped. So this is actually what's going to hold our wood into place.
Put anything into them?
We will toenail 2 nails, one on each side of that. So give me 2 of them long nails. I'll just go ahead and do them while we're here. So we're going to go ahead and put a couple nails in each one of these in the board. So we got about 15 of these guys to go. We're going to go ahead and get these up. I'm sure you don't want to sit and watch each one of them. But this is going to be where our boards will lay, right on this. No bottom in this. We want air to be able to get up from the bottom, sides, top, everything. We need air to flow through these. So we're going to do 15 of these and we'll get you guys right back in here. We have all of our boards on now, and then that's all it's going to be. Those there. And that's what we're going to lay our lumber on. That way air can get through the boards. So tomorrow we'll start on the roof. Get the roof done and we can start stacking wood in there.